Our apologies, everyone. Thank you for holding on in there. Okay. Can you all hear me? Let me try to send out a mess.
I hear you, Heather.
Okay, thank you, Patricia Caldwell. Let's see if, okay, Elizabeth is on. Let me try to email Sidonia back. Sorry about this. Okay, can you make me co-host so that I can share my screen, and then I need to email a few people back and say that we're on. Let's see, do I see Brad come back on yet? No.
Heather?
Yes, hi, Victor.
Yeah, that was Madison that let us in, so I don't know.
Okay, because I just got a call from Yutha.
Oh, what did she say?
She said she would call me right back.
Okay. All right, so.
But I told her that, so maybe she got in touch with Madison.
Yeah, no, I called Madison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I found her phone number. So I guess we'll just stand by. I'm gonna call Savannah Bailey back. She called
Oh,
me.
good. Okay. Okay, that's who, I was just looking for her number.
Yeah, wherever it was. There it is. Yeah, I'll call her now. Was there anybody else that jumped off?
Yeah, yeah, Brad Taylor, there's quite a few people that jumped off. I will,
Hey, Savannah, we're on now. You can try and sign back
okay,
up.
I see Shannon. Sorry, Savannah.
Oh, well, so stop it and start over again.
All right.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Sorry, I'm late. I wasn't sure if it was happening.
And no,
And some technical issues that we resolved, so we are happening.
Understood.
Yep.
but this shouldn't be a long meeting. But we have a lot of important announcements, so let me try to send an email quickly.
Hey.
Okay. To send.
Heather, when we start, I don't know if it's best to just have the presenters start unless any people have really any like pressing announcements since we're
So behind.
yeah.
Yeah, but the announcements should, these are quick presentations. So it wasn't intended to be a long meeting anyway. It's just that we have some very important announcements that we have to, let's see. Okay.
And my apologies, Heather, we were having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I tried to respond to as many people as possible. let's see. And if someone can just check, let's see, to the chat let's see. If we have committee members on, if we can just do, I know there are two who are going to be missing today. Let's see. Okay, we are on the Zoom now. Okay, I'll send to the committee members and then just send to, I know. Okay, okay, Gwendolyn wanted to get on. Okay, okay, Savannah got on. So I want to make sure that Ewan also gets on.
How many people do we need for a quorum, Heather?
We may not, we need at least, I think there's 6 of us now, so we need at least 4 people. So, is Hugo on or Liz? Is Liz on? Okay. But I don't think that we have anything that requires a vote, so we can
Okay,
go
good.
ahead, we can go
Oh.
ahead and get started.
All right, Heather, just, Heather, just bring the meeting to attention and then you can go from there. We don't need to,
Call it to order.
yes.
Okay. All right. Let me go back. Okay, let me go back. Okay, let's put the agenda back up. Okay, we'll go ahead then and call the meeting to attention at 7:24. And we'll go right to the presentation. Let's see, well, let me see, is anyone really pressed for time at this point? I think the presentations are supposed to, they're just really announcements. They're very quick.
So we can follow the agenda.
Let's see, because we've really, because I think all the announcements, I don't think everyone from Parks has come back on yet. I know that, Matt, I know that you're here. I think Leslie is still here. And there are some very important announcements that are going on. So we'll call the meeting to attention
Okay,
at 7:25. And we'll go ahead then, let's see. Elizabeth, are you really pressed for time, or Savannah, or do you have about 15 minutes just to get through the parks announcements?
I'm able to wait, 10 to
Okay.
15 minutes if it's not long. Thank you.
okay.
Okay, so we'll go ahead then, and Leslie, and if everyone can just give their abbreviated announcements, and then you can email me with anything that you may have missed. So let's just go ahead and get started then. And so, Patricia, you can go ahead. We'll also adopt the minutes in the agenda. And Patricia, do you want to just second that?
I'll second that.
Okay, and so we'll go ahead and get started then with Leslie Wright. Are you still on? And excuse my voice, everyone. I haven't had a voice for almost 2 weeks. So go ahead, Leslie, if you're still on.
Leslie,
Leslie or Mallory. I know Matt's on. So we'll go ahead then we might as well go ahead and just do the presentation items then. And
Is
see if,
anybody from the Parks Department? For Riverbank?
let me see who the participants still on. I see that Matt is on. I see Brad is on. Okay, Hugo is on now. I see Leslie is on, but she may have stepped away.
Okay, I have a quick question.
And Shannon, I see Shannon is on also, but we may have lost
I'm
a
here.
lot of our parks people.
Is Matt on?
Matt
I'm
is
on.
on.
Let's start with Matt.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be real quick. I shared some of these our last meeting and they're also posted on social media. So at Frederick Douglass, I guess weather and air quality permitting, on Friday, June 9th from 3 to 6, there's gonna be a family day at Frederick Douglass Playground, which is technically in CB7, but it's close enough to CB9. And then there's gonna be several upcoming Movie Under the Stars events. June 15th at St. Nicholas Park, James Baldwin Lawn. June 24th, Morningside Park on the ball field. And then Carmensville Playground, July 7th. Those have all been sent to the community board for posting via social media as well. And then there should be some information coming out soon for June 17th for both Morningside Park and St. Nicholas Park for some Juneteenth activities. And that's I'll leave it at that.
Okay. And this is being recorded. Okay, good. All right, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you so much, Matt. Do we have anyone else from Parks who can give a brief report now? We'll call Leslie again. I know Jana is not on today.
From what I can see, I'm the only one from New York City Parks besides Elizabeth for presenting.
Okay. Okay, so Elizabeth, I'm gonna stop sharing, and I am going to,
Hey,
because I
Heather.
know you have a bit of a, yes, who was that? Who called me?
It's Shannon. I don't mean to interrupt your rhythm, but I can probably give you a 1-minute update that includes the Riverside Park Conservancy for the most part. Touch on the dog run and be in and out in 60 seconds, if that would be
Oh,
helpful.
go ahead, Shannon.
Okay, Shannon Richards with volunteer lead with the user group for the 142nd Street Dog Run at 142nd Street and Riverside Drive under the Riverside Park Conservancy. Couple things. One, the Conservancy and the Parks Department, through their generosity and efforts, regraded. They removed all the old dirt out of the dog run, first time in 6 years, 2 weeks ago, and laid down a brand new fresh layer of wood chips and all the rest of it. So we expect that the community will be much more happy because we won't have the dust issues and the smell issues and the flooding issues that we experienced last year. Over the summer, we should be far better set to get all the way into the late fall, given their intervention, and we appreciate their thanks. Also, these items have already been announced by the Conservancy, but I know Stephanie would want to mention them again. The Riverside Park Conservancy has released their schedule for their Summer on the Hudson curriculum. It includes a bunch of organized programming, youth programming, adult programming, senior programming. It includes a fishing day. It includes some musical activities. I think there's a bicycle ride activity in there. All that information is on the Riverside Park Conservancy's website, and I believe those flyers have been presented to Community Board 9. I'm not seeing emails from Community Board 9 with these flyers. Like the Danny Farrell Park is coming up on their anniversary thing. I haven't seen anything from CB9. So just to note that the summer and the Hudson programming, I believe, starts this month. And then the last thing I know that Stephanie would want to mention again is they have the Teen Corp Volunteer Gardener Program. And there have been a number of seats specifically set aside for participants and residents of District of Community Board 9. And that information is also on their website. I don't believe that they filled up of candidates that are specific to Community Board 9. So one more opportunity for high schoolers who might be interested in an internship program, outdoor time, volunteerism, and parks and gardening. I think that would cover everything.
Shannon, you did an excellent job. That's amazing.
I did not expect Stephanie.
Oh, hi,
PR.
Stephanie.
I'm so sorry. It took all her
No,
thunder.
it's okay. I was going to forgo anything just because I know we had a late start, but Shannon, that was a beautiful presentation. You can take on over for every CB9 meeting if you want.
I'm
Well,
so
did
embarrassed.
he miss anything? And then Shannon,
No.
if you want to also give an update regarding the trash cans.
Yeah, it was an honor to help with the regrade. Super excited to work with the volunteers at the dog run to help with that. Continual maintenance schedule. Summer on the Hudson, yep, free public programming. Very specific spotlight to yoga. We have yoga on Thursdays now at 6:30. It's not happening tomorrow because of the air quality alert, but it's right next to Riverbank, on the lawn right next to Riverbank State Park, which is really amazing. And yes, Teen Corps is a paid internship for high schoolers. We still have a lot of slots left. So thank you so much, Shannon, for that. And just on that note, we sent all of our gardeners home today, and probably tomorrow. I have asthma, so please take care of yourselves. It's definitely really dangerous out there. Thank you so much.
And Heather, quick update on the garbage cans dating back to the September, October last year. The dog run, the user group for Dog Run 142 on behalf of our community set a proposal in front of the community board that was then pivoted and pushed over to Council Member Abreu's office with District 7 to add garbage cans on the east side of Riverside Drive from West 135th to West 144th, because there are none. And there's often complaints about dog waste and garbage waste and people waste and whatnot. And the sad thing is, I wonder if part of that problem is because there are no receptacles on the east side of Riverside Drive for a span of about 10 blocks. UN has been an amazing guide on that topic of helping us to navigate it. Jalissa Quimbley with the council member's office has been responsive. But here we are, June, end of the fiscal year, and there's been no update as to when those cans might be funded and when they might be ordered. And it's our experience that they take about 5 months from the Department of Sanitation to produce them once they've been ordered. So reached out this week. The council member's office is still working on budgetary issues. We are amazed at how slow this process is, but they still sound very supportive. We have some members that may come to the general meeting in a week or two to ask the question live when the district council member has his representative on the call. We're hoping that garbage cans can be added to the east side of Riverside Drive to help with this issue of waste on the residential side of the drive that has no receptacles. So we continue to cross our fingers, but it's a bit disappointing that between October and June, there's been no movement on this action. That's our update.
Okay, great.
Heather, if I may, Stephanie, are you still on the line?
Yes, sorry, I'm still here.
Yes, this is Victor Edwards from CB9 as well. Do you have additional flyers for the events you mentioned that you could send to our office so we can, for all the different events that you mentioned coming up, so we can put
Yes,
those in?
absolutely. Do you want me to send them to Heather, or should I send them directly to you?
Send them to Youth of Prince. You have her email?
Yes, I do. I will do that shortly.
Okay, appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
I believe Leslie's having audio problem. Leslie, it's saying to ask you to unmute.
Hi, it's me.
Okay,
I have full audio on my phone, but my computer is not cooperating. So here I am.
okay, great.
Same thing for me. This is Savannah Bailey McLean. I can't get in the computer, but I'm on audio.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right. Leslie, do you want to go ahead then? Because I know that we have our big day coming up next week.
We sure do. And thank you, Heather. I would love to. And boy, oh boy, do I have a fun flyer to share with you all. We just have a couple more little tweaks and then I'll send it over to the community board tomorrow for full distribution. But Denny Farrell Riverbank State Park is 30 years old and we are going to celebrate on June 17th rain or shine. We've got a action-packed day, all set up with all sorts of free swimming activities, free athletic activities, tons of music, all sorts of roller skating, all sorts of fun stuff, puppet shows, environmental education expo, carousel running free all day. Everything is free. We've got great stuff in the greenhouse, great stuff out in the learning garden. It's just going to be fantastic. And if it rains, we'll move a lot of stuff inside. So it's all going to happen. And the Marching Cobras are going to kick us off right at noon. So it's going to be a blast. And I hope each one of you come with at least 10 to 15 to 300 friends and family members. So we're excited.
Great.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's really good. And, you know, otherwise at the park, programming is in full swing. Let's see, our athletics complex locker room renovation project is complete.
Oh, good.
Oh, thank
Okay.
God.
Go check out the bathrooms and the locker room. It's beautiful.
Really?
Really gorgeous in athletics. The aquatics locker room project, that's going to start we'll start seeing rumblings of that on site in July, after July 4th. We're, you know, pushing it out a little bit to avoid holidays. But that's going to happen. That's going to be a really big deal. The track and field is still in play, but on schedule. It will be wrapped up in early August. So maybe at the next meeting, I'll have a firm date on that. Our project to redo the air conditioning in the theater, that got bumped out a bit in time for just a whole bunch of technical reasons. Nothing's wrong. It's just going to happen later. So we're going to just keep our current system nurtured so that it keeps us all cool and well ventilated through the summer camp. We still have plenty of spots for summer camp. So please, if you know anybody looking for an incredible camp value, both in terms of affordability and in terms of fun, we have spots for kids 7 to 13 years old. And the camp is, you know, it's just fantastic. Most of
when does it start, Leslie?
It starts, I believe it starts July 5, but I could be a day or two off on that. I will send you that
Send
full
the flyer.
information.
Okay.
Yep,
Mhm.
and it runs for 5 weeks. It's based at the park, so most of it's at the park, but they take tons of field trips to other state parks, both in the city and then also upstate. So it's really diverse in terms of its activities, and just really, really, really fun. Swimming's going on as usual. Skating, right? Roller skating is going on. We innovated this year with roller skating, and we are rotating different DJs through the different sessions. I think ultimately we got 3 different DJs just to give folks a wide variety of musics, but that's turned out to be pretty popular. So please go to the park, have fun.
Are you having any movie nights this summer?
Oh, Heather, I should be able to answer that question. I don't have that on the tip of my tongue. I'm going to have to send a flyer and schedule. We have tons of concerts, you know, all the usual.
Oh, concerts too. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, outdoors, and they always
Mhm.
move indoors if the weather's bad into the theater. But let me get, I don't think we are planning a lot of movies this summer, but let me double check that.
Will those
Okay.
sorry. Will those be Sunday concerts?
The concerts are definitely Sunday, but we have some on other days too. I'm going to get that full concert schedule out. Also, it should be on our website, but let me double check on that.
No problem.
Hi, Leslie.
Excellent.
Shannon. Don't mean to interrupt the community board members, but I learned this lesson the hard way a couple of years ago. Just wanted to point out, you had offered another update on August at the next meeting. The next community board meeting will be in September for parks, will be that first Wednesday in September, because The fiscal year ends, they take July and August off. So no meetings next month, no meetings the following month.
Thank you for that reminder. So we will
That's actually
always,
decided on Heather as the co-chair. If they want to meet over the summer, they can. That's Heather's decision.
Oh, my apologies. I've never seen you guys do it. My apologies. I stand corrected. Thank you,
Right.
Yuka.
No
If it appears that a lot is going on and a lot that we need to
Yes.
get out quickly to the community, then we may have a brief meeting.
Okay.
But we'll look to everyone to please send the updates to the district office and to me, and we'll make sure we'll get the information disseminated.
Yes. And
Okay,
I'll leave my contact info in the chat.
okay. And is there anything else, Leslie?
I don't think so. Just thanks very much always for including the park in this lovely meeting. And I can't wait to see you all on June 17th.
Yeah, I can't wait for June 17th.
Yeah, it's gonna be
it's-
fun.
Okay, have we missed anyone else from parks? And then we'll go quickly to our announcements and presentations.
Another quick question for Ms.
Go
Wright.
ahead. Yes, good. Go ahead, Victor.
Ms. Wright, you're still on the line?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
So Victor Edwards from CB9. Two quick questions for you. One is, I'm a frequent user of the park. I really appreciate what's going on there. I was actually there last night for tennis. Any plans to revitalize, reopen the waterfront amphitheater down below?
Mm.
We 100% know that that is a gorgeous asset that needs to be realized in the park. So
Yes.
it is 100% on our capital plan, but we do not have a date for it yet. There are a few parts to it. It's not just what's down below what you see the amphitheater. It's
Uh-huh.
also adding restrooms down there so that we can better meet code and also increase the capacity. In the
Gotcha.
first instance, though, it's also completely restoring, repairing, revitalizing the stair and elevator tower, including its tiled facade down there. So that project, the stair and elevator tower, will be first up. We have design for that funded, but not the actual construction work for that funded in the coming year. So
Okay.
stay tuned, keep asking. We know that it's critically important.
The second item, I noticed in recent months, a lot more bicycles riding through the park. I was
Yeah.
nearly hit maybe a week ago. I asked the people at the front gate about it. They said they do what they can, but maybe the park police can get out of the car and walk occasionally
Mm.
to enforce this before someone gets. Mhm.
Yes, thank you. This is definitely, yep, we're with you on that, 100%. And it is a live subject of conversation. The good news with respect to park police, I'm very happy to announce that last month, our New York State Park Police graduated their first academy of new park police in, I believe, 3 years. And 12 of those new members have been dispatched to New York City to be in this region.
Great.
And that significantly increases our membership of park police down here. They're in field training, but in about 6 weeks, they will be in full force, and we can see a greater presence at Riverbank and our other state parks. So that'll help with enforcement with things like the no bike riding rule.
Okay, appreciate it. Just pass that along to them. Thank you.
I would be delighted to. Thank you very much.
All right.
And Victor, did you want to ask Matt possibly about the porta potties? If he can get word to Steve Simon
Matt's
about
still
that.
on.
Yeah, Matt's still on.
Yes, Matt, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
I was hoping someone, Wes, would come. We've been asking for porta potties at the Harlem Piers Park for a while. People used to use Fairways restrooms, but Fairways no longer there. So families that go down or people just passing have nowhere to relieve themselves. So if you could pass that along, And I'm sure you're aware that Columbia gives $500,000 a year for that park. So in my mind, $500,000, we could get porta potties there.
Yeah. Amen.
Follow me?
Sorry, my got unmuted for a minute. I will pass it that along. It might need to be something other than porta sands.
Okay.
You know, and you know, they have those like more portable trailer type things, but I don't know if there's spacing and utility for that. Typically, we don't use porta sands as a means for a parks bathroom.
Well,
So
I
I'll pass it along.
they have porta potties up on 160th. They have porta potties on 57th and 12th. I was there this week.
Mhm.
If you'd like a picture, I'd send it to you.
I will pass it along to Steve and Wesley.
Okay, thank you very much.
So maybe, this is Patricia Colwell, maybe Matt can keep us informed because of most of the things that we're interested in this committee happen during the summer. So maybe he can keep us informed as to what accommodations will be made, if not the use of porta potties, and how soon they will be placed. If that's possible, Matt.
Well, so West Harlem Piers is not one of the parks that I operate, so I can pass the information along and let them know that you guys would like updates. But I won't be privy to, you know, the exact operations and what ends up taking place, because the park is not under my jurisdiction. That's operated by Riverside Park staff.
Oh, that's Riverside. Didn't we just speak to someone, Stephanie from Riverside? Is she still
Yeah.
on?
Yes, I'm still on, and I believe that would be West Hamilton. I don't think he's on the call tonight, but that is noted. I'm actually writing it down right now, so I can chat with him as soon as I come in, or as soon as we're allowed back into the field, once this is over, for sure. Thanks for bringing that up.
Right. So Elizabeth, do you want to try to share your screen now? I think we've have we covered everything with parks right now? So we're going to start the presentation from Elizabeth from New York City Parks.
This is Brad. You haven't covered Morningside, but that's okay, because I really want to hear from Elizabeth.
Yeah, let's hear from Elizabeth, if you can hang out, Brad, for a second, because I want to get Elizabeth and Savannah on to do their announcements. And then Gwen, I see you also. You have a few minutes to hang out, because they're just doing announcements, so they should be pretty quick also. And I'm so happy you were able to get on. Are you able to share, Elizabeth?
Yes, I should be able to. Can you see that?
Yes, great.
I'll do full screen. So we don't want to take too much of your time. So I'll just go through just really quickly, just an overview of who I am and what I do at NYC Parks. Then I'll turn it over to Simon Rigg, who's one of the artists who will be exhibiting in Morningside Park. He's from the Sculptors Guild and he can share some more information. But for those of you who don't know me, I think it's been a while since I've been to CB9. My name is Elizabeth Masella. I'm the Senior Public Art Coordinator at NYC Parks. I am the only public art coordinator at NYC Parks. I work with artists, arts organizations, community groups to permit temporary public art exhibitions in parks in all 5 boroughs. I do about 60 to 80 exhibitions a year. Public art installations can take many forms, sculpture, which you'll see this evening, murals, and fence installations. Temporary public art exhibitions are on view for up to 1 year. Many of them are on view for a shorter amount of time. My role with the temporary public art program is I receive the proposals. I review to make sure that the artworks are going to be safe, durable, suitable to the site. They won't impact regular park usage. I also share the proposals and work through the approval process through NYC Parks with our operations staff and our borough commissioners. We have quite a few requirements of all exhibitors. They're responsible for all aspects of the exhibition, including fabrication, transport, installation, maintenance, removal, site restoration at the end. They also are required to provide general liability insurance, as well as a security deposit to ensure that they will remove the artwork at the end of the exhibition. So this exhibition that we're sharing this evening is presented by Sculptors Guild, a New York City-based arts organization. There will be 4 artworks altogether, and they will actually be in the Morningside Park pond. They will be on view at the end of this month through the end of November. I think at this point, I'll turn it over to Simon to speak about his work, as well as that of Elizabeth Knowles and Eric Laxman, the other artists. And I have some visuals up on the screen, and I'll click through a few slides as Simon guides me. Simon?
Thank you. Good evening to everyone in the meeting, and thanks for the chance to speak. I'm the current president of the Sculptors Guild. For those who are not aware of the Guild, they were established in 1937. They're the oldest artist-run not-for-profit in New York City. This group of sculptors going into the pond is really an extension of what the Guild has been doing since 1937, placing works around the city, in the streets and parks. Some of the works you're already familiar with, the Alice in Wonderland sculpture in Central Park, the group of bears in Central Park, the Women's Rights Pioneers Monument, and downtown there's the Louise Nevelson Place, where she has large sculptures down there. So we're located down in downtown at LaGuardia Street, and a lot of the members, life members who have obviously since passed away, many of them were major influences on art, not just in America, but around the world. So these works that were proposed to go into the pond, and the ceramic one, which is going on the island, which you see now, is really a celebration and of the story and history of the Morningside Pond. My work is in terracotta. It's actually a kimono. It stands 5 feet high and will be situated close to the willow tree on the island. And the group works by Elizabeth Knowles and Eric Laxman, large water lily shapes, which will literally, they'll be floating in the pond itself.
Here's the island, just to
That's
show.
where
that.
the terracotta will be situated. This is some of the a drawing of Eric and Elizabeth's work. Which is made from a mixed media of PVC coated wire and latex and paint, and it'll be anchored with a cinder block at the pond base, and it will float and change direction in the wind. So these works are really a celebration of why the pond is there. I believe Suki Ports is the remaining still alive from the activist group from 1968. Funny enough, I've been working on kimonos, one of many series myself as a sculptor for the last 10 to 12 years, and I picked up on Suki being American Japanese, so it seemed appropriate, but it's not just about her. It's really about the group who gave their time and fought for the reason why the pond should be there, and the reason why it shouldn't have been dug up in the first place. And the floating works in the pond itself is also in hand with the kimono as part of that recognition of those people. It's there for temporarily, and I guess that's about it. But this is, as I said, this is what the Guild has been doing since 1937. It actually,
could you go back to that pond view? I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, I got it.
Is that a question from someone, or? Anyway, I'll just wrap it up anyway. These two works came from actually a much bigger proposal, which was decided to put on hold because it didn't address diversity, and Savona will lead you into that conversation on that project. Are there any questions at all?
In the Sculptors Guild, this is Patricia Corwell. How do you choose the pieces, the people's artwork that you're going to use? I've
I'm
heard
sorry, I
of a
didn't-
very good, I'm going to add to that a little bit, a very wonderful sculptor by the name of Jordan Baker Caldwell, who has gotten a lot of work in parks within the city. I wonder, how does one choose whose work goes where? Just out of curiosity.
within the Sculptors Guild, when we put proposals in for, in this case, to the New York City Parks Department, we come up with a project. We approach the parks about a possible location. I have a list, but we discuss that. And we submit the drawings and technical data that will hopefully answer all the questions from the parks. There are always questions that come back. Most of them are about safety. And it's also about the approval of the parks, whether they actually like it. All the other works are actually in the park and have been there for a very long time, are commissions. And I'm sure they all have their own story on how they got there and why they're there. But in terms of these two works, it goes through a process of codes to meet within the Parks Department, and that's how it gets there.
Sorry.
Are these sculptors compensated for the usage of their artwork monetarily?
From my perspective, there's no compensation. It's really, it's a privilege of getting your work into the city and being
right.
So I can speak more broadly about the Art in the Parks program. Unfortunately, we don't get any funding from the city, and we actually never have. Our program's been around for almost 60 years, and it's unfortunate. We don't have there's plenty of creative talent, and what we do offer is space, and we do try and advocate for, grant opportunities when we have them. In terms of artists that you might know who might want to exhibit in parks around the city, we do have an open application process. It is open to anyone. There's no deadlines. It's a rolling application process. And I'm actually familiar with Jordan's work. We showed that in his work in Marcus Garvey Park, actually when I first started here at Parks. So I remember that quite fondly. As far as, I don't know if Sculptors Guild offers compensation, but unfortunately, NYC Parks does not.
Okay, thank you.
Have you installed a sculpture such as this anywhere else, a floating sculpture in the city?
So we've actually, there was a precedent of having, there was some artworks in this actual pond, I think back in 2006, an artist named Barbara Siegel had some floating like floral works in the pond. We've also done, Savannah, did you organize that exhibition? It was way before my time. So that was a successful project. We've also done them in Prospect Park and a few other sites in the past without issues. I don't know, Savannah.
So you haven't had to, there's been no vandalism issues. We always are concerned about things like that. So
no, I think, unfortunately, a lot of the ponds, the water there's the harmful algae blooms, which I do think keeps people out of the water. But the artworks will be positioned far enough away that people can easily get to them. But we really haven't had any issues with artworks in water in parks before.
okay, excellent. Savannah, were you going to? Okay, can did you have something, Savannah? Can you go ahead?
So good evening, everyone. My name is Savannah Bailey McLean, Executive Director of the West Harlem Art Fund and a former CB9 board member.
Yay. Yay.
So tonight, we're just giving an early announcement. And that early announcement is that my organization is partnering with Simon Rigg and the Sculptor Guild to do a broader project. We're calling it the Harlem Sculpture Walk, where we are hoping to place sculptures in Morningside, St. Nicholas, and Jackie Robinson parks. That would be spring 2024 through late fall 2024. The reason we're making this early announcement and we're at the beginning stages is that it's a large scale project. So we didn't want to overwhelm the board when we do start presenting artists and works. So we wanted to alert you now. In addition to just doing the project, we will have selection committees where the public can join for sculpture, performance, particularly dance, and sound art. So therefore, citizens of West Harlem can rank the submissions and share their feedback and have a voice in the process. So that's what we wanted to let you know. We'll be back in October to let you know where we are. We will probably have completed our open call. This will be an open call for Harlem artists, artists of color around the city, and we will be accepting both individual and team submissions. So therefore, people who may have never presented sculpture before may feel more confident if they do it with others, and that increases opportunity for everyone.
Excellent. And do you have any, any ideas to what kind of format, what type of art? Will they be sculpture? They'll all be sculptures also. Okay. Excellent. We're looking forward to that and looking forward to partnering with you and helping get the surveys out and working with our committee to spread the word and to really allow people to have their voices heard and get feedback so that we can just make sure that we're supporting you as far as this project is concerned.
Thank you very much.
And thank you.
Honorable Caldwell, did you have something?
No, I just wanted to say thank you. And,
Yeah.
and definitely have my support.
It looks good too. Yeah, just excellent. The sculpture that we saw this evening. The weight, I'm curious as to the weight of that sculpture. I know it's going to be supported by cinder blocks, but just in terms of, you gave us size dimensions, but I didn't notice weight dimensions.
Yeah, the terracotta one sits on the island on its own precast concrete base. We bolted to that. The floating ones weigh about 18 pounds each. There's 3 of them. They're supported the system of a foam block, which will be below water. It will be treated the same way as the petals and the branch stem up top, which we painted. And there'll be a weight hanging from just below the foam block, just to keep it upright, because it will move around in the wind and twist around. And then there's a nylon rope which is attached to a cinder block at the base of the pond, which has moved. But the real technical part is actually keeping it upright, and we've worked out a plan of through testing in a swimming pool. It seems to work, so I'm confident it will stay up.
Okay, excellent.
Good. I look forward to seeing that.
So go ahead, Gwendolyn. I see your hand.
Yeah, hi, everyone. I have a question for Sylvania. Sylvania, who takes care of the Broadway Mall? You know, in the middle of the street. They used to have really wonderful public art, but there's nothing, there has
Oh, you're talking about the Broadway Mall Association. So the Broadway Mall Association And I'm not quite sure how they're functioning right now because also COVID has impacted so many organizations, but they would place sculptures in the Broadway malls.
Yeah, they do have interest in returning, but like Savannah said, part of it was COVID and the disruption there. You know, they were doing one exhibition a year for many years. Unfortunately, there won't be one there this year, but we're hoping to bring some art back to the malls, you know, next year and following years.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Gwen, did you want to go ahead with your announcement, or you had something for us? Gwendolyn, did you have an announcement?
I do. I could talk about the upcoming Visual Arts and Jazz Day.
Did you need to share your screen or anything?
Yeah, because I couldn't upload the it wouldn't let me upload it in the chat. So I'll go ahead and share. I have the flyer on my phone. Let me just get to it. Just give me 1 second so I can see here. Okay. Can everyone see it?
No.
Yeah,
Ah,
we can
now.
see it.
Okay, good. Okay. Hi again, everyone. So this year marks the 20th year for our annual Arts and Jazz Fest New York City Festival. We have been on a mission of celebrating the visual side of jazz. Actually, this is my 35th year of advocating for that.
Wow.
Very early in my career, my dad was, because he passed, was a musician. And so a lot of my artwork, I started focusing on jazz back in 1988. And so I wanted folks to understand that there is a history to the side of jazz. Artists like Romare Beard and Norman Lewis and so many others of that era. But there are communities too who celebrate jazz around the world. So I felt we needed more recognition. So that's how the festival came about. So we started off in the JVC Jazz Festival as a special event for 8 years, and then we continued. And so here we are now today celebrating years. And to ensure that the community can participate in the festival, I created what we call Visual Arts and Jazz Day. And it really is, you know, we've gone through our changes in developing it and all of that good stuff. And we really wanted young people to be able to tap into the history of jazz, as well as tap into their own artistic talents. So Saturday, June 24th, we're going to be at the Montefiore Park. Thank you so much, Matt, if he's still on. He's been so very helpful. The last couple of years, we've been trying to do things in the park. It's beautiful there. And we'd like to invite you on that day. If you want to set up a table, share information, we welcome you. We're going to have live jazz music. We're going to have puppeteers. We're going to have art making. So it's just going to be a fun community day. We're going to have a DJ. So I'm happy to announce that Francisco Mora Catlett, who is the son of the legendary sculptor Elizabeth Catlett, he lives in my building.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm excited. So, you know, I just ask everybody to information. We'll be printing some posters this coming week. And again, if anybody wants to support or donate, you know, please let me know. And importantly, you know, come out and share what you do too. I want to make it a nice community celebration for the art.
Excellent. And if you could put your contact information in the chat, and everyone, Savannah, everyone, if you could just sign into the chat just so that we recognize that you're here. I just want to thank everybody too for, you know, despite our difficulties, for hanging in there with us. Was there anything else, anyone else come on that needs to, oh, Brad, we can go ahead with your, I didn't, you had a letter of support.
I can explain
Did
what
you
it
have
was.
announcement? Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Brad.
well, I mean, there's, I'm glad to hear all the stuff that's happening with art. There are two other projects that I think Elizabeth was going to mention, which is Faces of Harlem is coming back to Morningside Park August 5th. And then Susan Steer is doing an amazing project called Setting the Stage for Climate Change, which will be up on the stairs at 116th Street. And in support of that, we're having a Trashin' show, which will be on September 23rd. And Susan is doing a few workshops where people can build their fashion designs. And that's happening on June 13th, July 11th, and August 8th. All of this info can be found on our website, morningsidepark.org, and on our social media, which is at NYC Morningside throughout. So that's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Those are the things that I wanted to mention. Heather, the thing you're talking about is under old business. It's the idea that we wanted to do something at the pond. When I say we, the community board, Parks Committee wanted to do something at the pond to commemorate the protesters and have some sort of permanent signage there. So I drafted up a reso, having been on the community board for 10 years and chair of this committee for some of those and vice chair for others. I thought I would just do that. You can take it or leave it, but you have it now if you want to work on it.
Okay, did you email me that already today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right, I didn't get a chance. And if you could just put your social media, the information in the chat where we can find the flyers
Sure.
for the events that you just mentioned, that would be very helpful.
Sure.
And just thank you, Brad, for mentioning those two projects. I wasn't prepared with visuals on those two yet, just waiting a few last pieces, but I'm sure you're all very familiar with Faces of Harlem, which is now in its third year. That'll be coming back in August. And then also this piece with Susan Stair and David Lanzalotta will be coming also in August. We can share some more information, I think, when we get closer. I know you don't meet during the summer, but either Brad or I can surely share updates on those other public art projects.
Right, and it's this in the summer is like our most busy time for parks. That's when everything is happening. So we may have to do a little quick update if necessary. Let's see, I see a Dan that's come on. Dan, do you want to introduce yourself or let us know who you represent?
Sure. I'm Dan Seltzer. I'm on the board of Friends of Morningside Park. And I live right near the park. And I would go on video, but there's some screaming kids behind me. So I will spare you that.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody in case anyone else has any announcements or anything. And I don't see Ewan was able to get on, but everybody, please come out and support the we're having the event this Saturday at City College at the School of Architecture, the Historic Preservation Conference on June 10th at City College. So please come out and support that event. It will be happening all day. There'll be a lot of helpful information from between 9 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So please, I just want to make sure she probably wasn't able to get back on, but I just want everyone to be aware of that so that we have to come and support our organizations. And if you have any time to spare, to please come out and support that. Are we missing anything? Is there anything else that we may have missed? I'll go back to put the agenda up again quickly just to make sure that we haven't missed anything. And if anyone knows anything that's going on, Matt, as far as I think you mentioned a couple of things at St. Nicholas Park. And we'll just look for the flyers too as well. And again, my apology for all the confusion. And I think we've covered everything unless I've missed something. I see your hand raised, Gwen. Did you want to make another comment? You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Heather. Yeah, just quickly, during the Arts Committee meeting, we were sharing information that could be helpful for the community. And one thing that came up was the guard, what are they? I don't know what they're calling it. It's right at the park, at Montefiore Park.
The guard stations?
Yeah.
The security guard stations, yes. Mhm. Yeah, could you tell us about that?
Yeah, and if you don't mind, Heather, I'll share, because I have
Oh,
two pictures.
please. Oh, yeah, do that, please.
Let me share. Hopefully they will come up. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Here's one, and then I have a view. This is kind of a little blurry. See it?
Yes.
Okay. It's been empty, and we were talking about how possibly this can be reopened and could become sort of like a kiosk for the arts community to be able to share information. I'm assuming Parks controls it.
Yes.
And perhaps maybe with the help of the, Shauna Brew and maybe some other elected officials, maybe we can find some funding to man it. Because when you go down to 42nd Street, when you go down by Jazz at Lincoln Centers, there's kiosks there and where people can walk by, pick up information. And I think this is the perfect location that we in the arts community could utilize to share information and let people know what's going on in the community.
When I can give some updates on that, it's somewhat more complicated than that. So there is still some pending work that has not been done in that kiosk, dealing with some Con Ed meters being hooked up. So there is not power actually to the park to control, like, for example, the irrigation system in the park. That kiosk is actually holds above utility equipment. So it's not a space for like a vendor to be out of. I can look to see if maybe there's a way to post some flyers inside that kiosk to see if they could be viewed out of, but it's not something that you're able to operate any type of art exhibit or something out of it, because it has protected utilities inside the building that hold the gas meter, the electrical meters. That park has a ton of utilities underneath of it. It's got sewer mains, and so it's the park was built through a DDC project with many agencies involved, and we actually are waiting for some work to be finished there with hooking up electrical equipment from Con Ed to be able to even have regular access to the utilities in that building.
I just had a quick thought, Matt, maybe because it's really a beautiful, has a really beautiful facade. It's shiny. It looks so nice. Maybe some kind of racks could be built near it or around it or something where, you can put stuff in that people can take. Or I don't know, like near the subway station, how they have these monitors and you have stuff flashing with movies are coming out and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that'll be too risky.
with the wayfinders, that's something that DOT does. There is going to be in that general area some major ADA MTA upgrades going on over the next year. So once that work is complete, maybe DOT can do some sort of wayfinders in that area.
Got you. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Well, thanks for that update, because it's really a nice, and it was so windy the day we did our event back in 2021. We just put our banner around it. Sorry about that, man. We didn't know,
But I can look to see if there's some sort of like postings that can be done through those windows in some way for at least like community flyers to be posted up.
oh, that would be nice. Yeah. Great, thank you.
I have a
Well,
question,
possibly if
Matt.
sorry.
Go ahead, Savannah.
Yes, go
Yes,
ahead,
I
Savannah.
just wanted to know, which park are you responsible for?
So I am responsible for Parks and Community Board 7 and Community Board 9. So it's roughly from 59th Street up to 155th between
That's just Riverside Park.
no, minus mine. I'm not responsible for Riverside Park. So
Oh, okay.
minus Riverside Park, Central Park, and then there's a cutout where kind of for the district lines where Jackie Robinson Park is part of Community Board 10.
Okay, so you're also responsible for St. Nicholas as well?
Yeah, so I mean, the two largest parks are Morningside Park and St. Nicholas Park for Community Board 9. And then the smaller playgrounds in and around near St. Nicholas and Morningside Park.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And Matt, are we going to be doing any more movies at Jacob Schiff?
I have to look at dates. I think there was one that was rescheduled. We have a few things that have been rescheduled because of weather.
Yes.
And now we're not getting any rain, but we're still we had a movie night in another park that was rescheduled tonight because of the air quality.
Smoke.
So I'll try and look up that information and send those to the board. I know there was talk about having something hosted at Jacob Schiff.
Okay. And Honorable Caldwell, I see your hand.
Thank you. I wanted to ask first, the part that where the kiosk was that Gwendolyn was, that Gwen Taylor, I believe, was asking about, what park is that?
That's Montefiore Square.
And where is that located?
It's on 138th and Broadway. It's like a sitting area. There's a lawn. It was recently redone. There's an MTA station there, so it's kind of it gets a lot of pedestrian traffic through the area because of City College and other commuters.
At 138th and Broadway.
It actually goes down to 137. So it's 138 and 137 there. There's both entrances.
Right. That's a high traffic area.
Yeah.
Okay, I was curious. I wasn't familiar with the name. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. So if that's it, I think we've covered everything. Am I missing anything, anyone?
No.
And I'm just looking to see through my list. If we've missed anything, then we can go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 8:25. Is there anyone
I
want to?
second. Patricia Polka.
Okay. So I'll have you call it, and then Hugo, if you want a second.
Okay, I'll call it.
Thanks, Hugo. Okay, and I'm just going to try to save the meeting chat right now. But thank everyone so much for being flexible today. We appreciate it, unless we've missed anything. Was there anything that or any other ask of the community board that we may have missed. Otherwise, you know, we're gonna end the meeting now. I don't think anyone, everything was more or less informational tonight. So-
Heather, I was just gonna ask, could you send the chat to me? I'm not able to save it on my phone for some reason. It doesn't let me save the chat.
Oh, who
Gwen,
is that?
I'll send it to you.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks, Yutha.
That's Yutha.
Thanks so much.
welcome.
Hi, you.
Okay.
Hi, Pat.
How you doing?
Good in yourself?
I'm just blessed. It's good to hear your voice. Good to
You
hear.
too.
And I can't thank everyone enough for being so flexible this evening. This never
Yes,
happens, so
thank
we'll
you
just
so
make
much for your
sure.
patience.
Yeah, but we'll make sure that, you know, we're diligent with getting the announcements out this summer. And if any of you have anything pressing that comes up and you want to just call a quick meeting, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Brad, I want to take a look at the of the resolution or letter of support, whatever it is that you've pulled together, and maybe we can work on that together too this summer. Okay.
Yes, I'd love to do that. Thank you, Heather. Yeah.
Okay, and again, if we're not missing anything else, then we can go ahead and sign off. And again, many thanks, and everyone enjoy your summer. And let's just stay in contact with each other and just and keep the brochures and flyers going to the community board district office. We really want to support what all of you all are doing this summer.
Great.
Thank you, Heather.
Okay, thank you so
Heather.
much. Okay.
Have a job
And
well done.
maybe I'll get my voice back
Have a
soon.
good night all. Hi, Savannah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, Savannah. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. And nice to see you,
Bye.
Elizabeth. Bye-bye.
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 Good night.
25.